Davis. Matt Rowe.
I'd like to have a question for everyone about the Second Amendment. Everybody there will probably say they're pro-gun, but what does the Second Amendment mean to you? Specifically, the shall not be infringed part. What gun laws do you think are acceptable, and which gun laws do you think are infringing?
Who is that question for?
For all.
All of you? Let's start with this.
Well, as I mentioned, I wrote a brief in the Heller case supporting individual rights to bear arms and that the government should not infringe on that. That was the decision made by the United States Supreme Court in Heller. And my position on the Second Amendment is that we've got a number of laws in place right now that infringe on that, and they should be repealed. Laws as far as, like, for instance, safety zones on a college campus. Everybody there is an adult, the students, the professors, they all have the right to bear arms. That right should not be infringed on. So I think there's a number of laws that we've got on the books right now that are laws that clearly violate the Second Amendment and are laws that we need to have repealed, and we need to have people who understand the Constitution and those parameters and are willing to go in there and make those decisions. I can't sit here and tell you every gun law, so I'm not going to tell you every law that is good or bad or goes to that, but that would be an example that I would give you.
Follow-up? You have a follow-up question? Okay, that's what, excuse me.
First of all, the right to keep and bear arms. I believe that to keep means obviously that we all have the right to have guns or have weapons. To bear means we all have the right to carry those weapons on our person, and that those rights shall not be infringed. That's what the Second Amendment says. I personally believe that the permit system is an infringement upon that Second Amendment. There's really common sense laws that we could just honor and understand that if you're a criminal, if you've been convicted as a felon, or if you're a minor, you can't legally carry a weapon. But if you're an adult and you haven't infringed upon certain laws and you're an upright, citizen of our society, you should be allowed to carry a weapon. That's what the Second Amendment says. I believe that there's, as has been said, there's so many laws right now in the books as far as our gun laws are concerned. Most of them and many of them are really just ridiculous. If any of you own a permit, you know that the laws are crazy.
Well, the Second Amendment is not about hunting. Okay, the Second Amendment's about freedom, and the whole reason the Second Amendment was put in there is because if the government gets out of hand, we're supposed to be armed, and that's the reason why the Second Amendment was in there, and that's what was debated back at that time. Now, in the state legislature, I introduced the Vermont-style concealed carry bill because, unlike the mainstream media, I don't think criminals actually get in line to background checks. Okay? I got to go commit a murder today, but if my concealed carry permit is not in order, it will be illegal to me to go to the place where I want to murder somebody. It makes absolutely no sense. So all the background check is an unconstitutional hurdle for law-abiding citizens. Period. And that's just the long and short of it. I introduced the Vermont concealed carry bill, which Republicans, of course, didn't want nothing to do with that. I did the New Orleans bill, where jackbooted government thugs aren't allowed to come take your guns off you during a time of emergency. I fought Governor Taft's trigger lock bill, and we were able to defeat it in committee. So I've got a long history of fighting for our constitutional rights.
I too strong support our Second Amendment. I'm a longtime member of the NRA. I also helped co-sponsor and work to get the concealed carry permit legislation passed here in Ohio. I would have liked it to have been more like Vermont legislation, but you have to get what you can get. And we fought, I think it was close to 3 years, when I was in the first 3 years in the legislature to get that. And we had a Republican governor who was absolutely against it. And we had a highway patrol that was absolutely against it. And we've had to do it incrementally, but we got it done. And we're still not at the point where we really should be, but at least we strong supporter of the Castle Doctrine that we passed here a year or so ago in the General Assembly to protect your rights when somebody intrudes in your house, that you can defend yourself. And I think that goes along with your Second Amendment rights. And my time is up.
I'd like to come with a little bit different direction on it, folks. This is a slippery slope that we're on. Constitution, Declaration of Independence said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among them, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't know if you know this or not. One of the early, Thomas Jefferson wrote one of the early drafts. He said life, liberty, and property. The purpose of the right to bear arms, first of all, is a God-granted right. It does not come from the Constitution. The Constitution, the Declaration goes on to say, to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men. The purpose of government is to secure your right to keep and bear arms. It's very, very clear. See, it's even more than that. If they tell you you can't have a gun, then they tell you you can't play with a football team. And then they tell you you can't assemble. And if you assemble, that you're some type of right-wing wacko. We have God-granted rights. We have to stand firm on those and not allow them to take them from us.
We don't have an audio problem. It's just that my amplification of the voice is different than Coach Daubenmaier's, so the guy has to adjust each time. Let me say this. I believe that the Second Amendment right is an individual right. And I think a question you should be asking candidates when they all say we joined the NRA and are members and life members, when did you join? I think you'll find out a lot of them joined when they decided to become candidates. I joined when I was in the 5th grade using proceeds from my paper route where I learned about the free enterprise system and private property rights in this country. First became a member when I was about 12 years old of the NRA. I'm a life member. I've been to their convention. I own about 20 firearms. I know what it's like to look down the barrel of an M16 at another man and feel your heart pounding so hard in your chest you think it's going to jump right out. I support a Vermont-style concealed carry, and I want you to know that the evidence, the empirical evidence is very clear. When you have concealed carry, crime goes down. And the places that are regulating now the most are the most dangerous cities in the United States. I will defer to nobody on Second Amendment rights. Thank you.
Well, I think our forefathers were very clear on this. The reason why they put this in there is so that the federal government would fear the people. See, the federal government should fear the Tea Parties because we are the ones in charge. I once heard somebody say a democracy is 2 wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner. And liberty is a well-armed and well-equipped lamb recalling the vote. So that is the purpose of it, is so that we, the people who are in charge of the government, stays in charge of the government. And I think a lot of these laws are unconstitutional. I don't think you should have to have a permit because it's none of your business what guns I do or do not have in my house, and it's none of my business what guns